West Virginia is changing fast, and in 20 years, we may not even recognize it. Some of the towns that we currently love may not even exist. What used to be our charming little towns may be a ghost town that sits in its place. The population continues to decrease. The young folks continue to leave. The average age continues to go up. The economy continues to go down. Coal may never make a great return. I asked ChatGPT to predict what West Virginia would look like in 20 years, and these are some of the things that it told me. These are all things that sound scary and negative, and they are. But guess what? Our future's not written by ChatGPT. It's written by us, and it's written by you. Yes, you. So not only are we going to talk about what happens in the future, we're going to talk about what you can do to continue to make it great. We're not going to sit back quietly and watch West Virginia fade. Not on our watch.
I'm Kelsey. This is my husband, Corey, and this is Almost Heaven, Always Us. Today's episode is more serious, but it might be the most important one we've done.
Here's what I did. I did something. I did a thing. I went to ChatGPT. I did it. The dreaded ChatGPT AI. And I asked it.
What a chump.
I said, let all your biases go. I just want you to be 100% honest. Turn your honesty up 100%.
Is that what you said?
That's what I said. Because it knows that I love West Virginia and it tells you what you want to hear. So I said, don't necessarily tell me what I want to hear. Just look at the facts. Look at the current statistics. Look at the current trends. And tell me what you think West Virginia will be like in 20 years. The year being 2045. We're going to watch this in 20 years to see how accurate it was.
That's not a real year.
2045, 20 years from now, we'll be grandparents. If we're still alive. Especially me.
Yeah, I guess so.
I make bad decisions.
Our oldest would be 30. So we would probably be.
Man. Anyway, he gave us his predictions, and I got to be honest with you.
They're sad.
They're depressing. They're depressing. He's basically predicting a state on decline, on steady decline.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like that.
We've been at steady decline for a while.
Yes, and that's why he's reading into that and making his predictions. So we're just going to start right from the beginning. I'm going to take it from the top. First thing I want to talk about is population. According to the census right now, West Virginia population in 2024 is about 1.77 million people, right?
That's not a good number.
But it's been on an annual decline of about 0.03% every year, an annual decline. So that would put us in 2045 down to 1.65 million people. So we're talking well over 100,000 people difference.
Yeah.
Because right now we have more deaths and people leaving the state than we have births. On a steady decline.
So 100, how many in 20 years will we have lost?
Over 100,000 is what
100,000.
I just read on Reddit this week. It was about why people leave West Virginia, and a lot of people were talking about how they were younger and they wanted more opportunities and things like that. So it's continuing to be a trend of young people leaving. Basically, they go through high school, possibly stay around for college, but then they leave after that.
Yeah.
So it's a constant decline, and it's usually the younger people. Which brings us into our next point, the median age. You know that 1/5 of the population is over 65 in West Virginia. The median age in West Virginia right now is 42.7 years. Does that feel about right to you? When you walk around outside, does it seem like everybody's about 42 years old?
Well, I guess it just really depends on what circles you're in. We're in a circle of mid-30 mom and dads right now. But I don't see that many young people. I see like high school age kids because they're still with their parents. And obviously we're in a college town.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't see that many young people.
Well, it's going to continue to get worse because according to his estimates, by 2045, the average age will be closer to that 50-year mark. It'll be about 49, 50.
Yeah.
As the young continue to go and the population continues to age. Now, why is that a bad thing? Because the elder people need the younger people to take care of them a lot of times. And I'm not even just talking about physically taking care of them like you take care of your grandma. I'm talking about economically. I'm talking about as a society economically, like paying into taxes because usually your elders are not working anymore. They're retired.
Yeah.
So I'm talking about a healthy tax base that pays into the taxes of West Virginia. I'm talking about people who go out here and do your services, your jobs, your workers out there, you know, when they're gone and you just have an aging population that's more homebound and living in retirement, that doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
It's not a good balance. So that's one of the problems he predicts.
Yeah, I don't see too many younger people working. I will say that.
Yeah.
Like if you go out, it's like people, like older people.
Yeah.
It honestly is. Like if you go to Walmart or Aldi, like I don't see young people in there working.
Well, I don't even know what they're doing, but they're not doing it here.
Yeah.
They're not.
They're
They're
not
leaving
here.
West Virginia
Yeah.
oftentimes is the thing. He continues that coal jobs will continue to disappear, saying at that point they'll be nearly gone with really no sign of coming back. And we know how much coal heritage we have here in West Virginia and how important it is to people. So that'll be a tough pill to swallow for a lot of people that the coal jobs are leaving. A lot of people who were involved in industrial type jobs, a lot of them have kind of shifted over to natural gas. But here's the thing. He says natural gas isn't going to save you either. It will also balance out and continue, maybe decline from that point. It's not like it's going to come in and just replace coal. And like,
Well, how do you feel
now we all
about
just do
that?
natural gas.
Since that's
I'm
what your
someone who
career
works in
is.
natural gas, so that's not what I want to hear necessarily. But listen, we said we weren't going to sugarcoat it. This is what he's predicting. All right. Next, he says rural counties are going to continue to lose schools, hospitals, and grocery stores.
Yeah.
You've already heard about this. We've seen some of this.
Yes,
Stores shutting down. You see a
Mm-hmm.
lot of abandoned places, but a lot of counties have already tried to consolidate schools.
Yeah.
So you see schools shut down, the little regional schools, the little,
Like Seneca.
and then they all bus into a bigger school in the county. They have to do that because the schools continue to lose money. I just read an article today where a lot of the West Virginia schools just took a hit from some kind of federal funding that disappeared. So they can't really afford basically to have all these schools. So they try to consolidate to save money.
Yeah.
One big building as opposed to 5 buildings or whatever. And it's going to be the same way with hospitals and grocery stores, things like that. And so it just gets harder for the rural folk.
Yeah.
They have to go out to what would be considered the bigger towns like Morgantown.
Yeah.
Or Eastern Panhandle, places like that to get services that they need. It says there is some promising growth in a few places. Morgantown, Fayetteville, Eastern Panhandle, like I just said, those couple places. He expects those to continue to grow. He says they're growing places. The Eastern Panhandle, of course, being sandwiched in there between Maryland and Virginia. Close to D.C., it's going to continue to grow and do well. Fayetteville has really become a center of tourism.
That's interesting.
For the state.
What's there?
New River Gorge.
Oh, yes, yes. So they're predicting Fayetteville will be doing well?
They think it'll do well. They think that they'll really tap into the tourism. And it will
okay.
become like a tourist hub of West Virginia. So a lot of people will come in from out of state. They already do, but it's saying that will continue to grow in 20 years. As the population declines in West Virginia and there's more ghost towns and more of the state becomes empty, that will absorb kind of the more of the tourism is what it's thinking there. And then Morgantown, of course, has the university and colleges, and then also Huntington as well has Marshall University.
Yeah.
And so it expects places like that to continue to grow. What I saw was it was telling almost the story of 2 West Virginias, it was calling it. The pockets of West Virginia that do well while the rest is in decline.
Yeah.
And the separation between those 2 West Virginias will continue to grow, it said. Will that bleed into cultural? Right now, we feel like Morgantown, is it really culturally different from the smaller rural areas, do you think?
I'm going to say, yeah.
A little bit, but not as bad, I don't think, is what it could be. He's expecting it to grow worse. Basically,
I can see that
somebody
happening.
in a smaller rural area. I feel like right now, because we came from a smaller rural area, and I don't feel like we've really changed moving to Morgantown. We have a lot in common still with the smaller rural areas. He thinks that gap will continue to grow culturally as well, because these will be the places that basically the haves and the have-nots.
Yes.
And that'll kind of be the thing.
Yeah, and I can see that also because people come to West Virginia from other places, here to Morgantown specifically.
Yeah.
And so it's not like you're like homegrown in West Virginia and all that. So it's like people bringing in their different cultures and stuff.
Right.
And so it's kind of like washing out a little bit of rural culture.
And if the population continues to decline, and anyone who would happen to move to the state would only pick those certain areas to move to, like the Eastern Panhandle or Morgantown or Huntington, then it would continue a cultural divide, perhaps, between the smaller areas and the bigger towns.
And you can't really say that that's bad because you want people to come here from all over.
Right.
So you can't be like, oh, we don't want people to come here because we want to reserve, like,
Oh, of course. No, and I wasn't even
culture.
going to get into that because that opens a whole can of worms.
I just feel like
when
it
we
needed to
mentioned
be
it
said.
before, we got all sorts of people attacking.
Yes.
So, yeah, you could say it. But you can see the concern there, too, because West Virginia does have an identity.
Yeah.
And we don't necessarily just want to turn that over
No,
either
we are
and
proud
say,
of our identity.
well, our culture doesn't matter, our identity
It
doesn't
does.
matter, forget about it. We just want people no matter
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
either. So I think there's a balance in there
There
somewhere.
is a balance.
And that's what, like when we went to Bramwell and they talked about their heritage, but also welcomed everybody to come down to the four-wheeler trails. Some kind of balance like that, I think, is ideal.
Yeah, it is.
But unfortunately, this is saying that's not going to be the case. The balance won't be maintained. It's going to be more cultural divide. So why does it matter? That's the next thing. Why should we care? Well, I know for us personally, we have kids. We have 4 kids. What kind of West Virginia are our kids going to inherit?
Yeah.
If they stay here, or will they, like so many others, so many other young people, will they choose to leave and say, "There's nothing here for me. I'm gone," or will they continue to stay? And if they stay, what is it like for them? What's the state like? Is it a state that they're going to be proud to live in? That they're going to be proud of?
I would say it's predicting that Morgantown's going to be fine. Like right in 20 years, it's going to be fine. So since that's where we're living,
it depends on how you define fine.
Okay, well,
it's still going to be very different.
Well, as long as it is doing good, I would hope that they would all choose to stay here. That's a lot to ask for your 4 children to stay close. But like our dream obviously is for our children to always stay close to us.
Well, that was my next question. What do you want them to leave or stay?
No, I want them all to stay. I don't know. I mean, you can't say.
Well, the next question is, can they stay and thrive?
Can they stay and thrive? I think you can stay and thrive. I think you can. It's not dead. I think, like, if you're living in a ghost town and you expect your children to stay and thrive, like, there's only so much you can do.
Well, population decline's a real thing. Yeah. And even right now, we've driven around West Virginia to see enough dilapidated buildings. Yeah. Old schools that used to be a school, now the windows all knocked out. Old stores that used to be a storefront, now it's barely hanging on. Old houses that you can tell were probably really great houses back in like the 1800s, like these big 2-story houses, and they're collapsing. They're not painted. So you already see it now. If this continues to escalate in 20 years, and there's whole towns that don't even exist anymore, whole communities that don't even exist anymore. I forget where I was going. What was your question?
I forget. Oh, like if they're like, are kids thriving? Like, can they still thrive if you're like in a decline?
Well, apparently in certain
certain areas.
But here's the flip side to that then. So if everybody's only living in their certain pockets, that means while some towns become ghost towns, those towns become unaffordable to live in because everyone wants to live in that town. Then you can't afford a house there. Yeah. We've already seen that even in Morgantown since we bought our house, since we moved into our house. Yes. It's basically almost probably tripled in value in 10 years. Yeah. So what will it look like in 20 years? Will our kids be able to afford a place in Morgantown? Or will that be reserved just for the doctors and the professors and things like that?
Because it's a very big healthcare area.
How does it feel knowing that this is happening in real time?
I don't like it. I guess because it is depressing thinking that it's going to happen, but I'm not too like hung up on it right now. Yeah. I'm trying to just appreciate what I have and kind of like, but still keep the future, ahead and like know that it's coming. Right. But just not like worry about it too much right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Bury your head in the sand. Pretend nothing's happening. Yeah. I'm joking.
Like, that it's coming, but is it like something that you should always be fearful of? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Do you feel like, looking back at your last 20 years, are there any particular like towns or communities or stores or anything from your childhood that feel like they're fading? They don't even have to be completely faded out, just fading.
Well, several have completely. They're done. I got weeds growing inside the buildings, I can't think of anything that's like fading. No.
That's good.
Yeah. Can you think of any that's fading, like right off hand? Where something's fading, a Dollar General is thriving.
That's true.
So, I mean.
Well, if you've hit your emotional low point in this video and you're depressed and you're ready to turn it off, here's the good news. There's signs of hope. First of all.
I thought you were going to say it gets
First of all. No. First of all, this is ChatGPT prediction. Yeah. This is not set in stone.
It's not an official prediction.
This is not set in stone, okay? This is for sure 100% going to happen. This is what could happen. But it doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. And here's what I know about West Virginia and West Virginians in particular. They are a gritty group, a strong group, a resilient group.
Yeah.
I've seen that firsthand. If you go down to Charleston and visit the State Museum, I've talked about it many times. Visit the State Museum. It's a history of a group of people that just don't quit. That's basically what it is. Now, sure, some people are going to leave the state. I'm not judging them even, because there's people who may have left the state watching now that still love West Virginia. And you did what you had to do. But here's the thing. There's a lot of people that aren't going anywhere that'll go down with the ship, so to speak, if they have to. That's me. That's me. You know it. You know that's me. I did some history, family history recently, studying my last name, 8 generations, all the way from Germany. And he came and settled where I grew up. And he left. After he kind of settled, he left. And then he had like other families, basically. He was married a few times, I think. But one of his sons stayed. One of his sons stayed in where he was established. And then that son, to me, all stayed. All stayed right here in West Virginia, all the way to me for 8 generations.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool.
Because I don't know how a lot of people, if you look at 8 generations of your family, they might have been all over the nation. So I thought it was pretty neat that they all stayed in West Virginia, other than the first guy who came from Germany, because he wanted to see everything. He was from Germany. Yeah. So he had to see the whole. Obviously. Now this was pre even America. But anyway.
That's crazy how people can.
And of course it was Virginia at the time. Yeah. Yeah. In a whole different county even. It would have been Hardy County, Virginia.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm from Grant County, West Virginia. So my point is this, I'm not going anywhere. And there are also examples of things that are working right now. A lot of people, especially here in Morgantown, what we've been seeing is a lot of remote work. How many people do we know that work remotely? They work for companies that aren't even based in West Virginia. They don't have to be. They're remote workers. You can work for a company across the world if you wanted to. You could work for a company out of Japan and be right here in West Virginia.
Yeah. I have a friend who works remotely for a company out of Arizona.
Oh, yeah?
I'm pretty sure it's Arizona, yeah.
Very cool. So that's a sign of hope right there. So just because the job's not physically in West Virginia, the company's not physically in West Virginia, in the old days, that would mean nothing's here. You got to leave. Yeah. But nowadays, you can stay here and work.
Learn how to code.
Not only that, but people come from other states and can live remotely. Because if the population continues to decline, that means housing should get cheaper even. So people can move in for hardly anything. And they can have large tracts of property. Now, the only downside of that, and this is what Chat said, was he said, well, lack of internet. He said lack of infrastructure and broadband. But this is what I don't think he was considering. Is that going to matter in 20 years? That there's not fiber strung up on the poles everywhere? Yeah. And underground buried fiber networks? I don't know that it will, because I think you got Starlink and satellites and things like that. Yeah. That may be an outdated technology anyway. It may not even matter. Yeah. Maybe the infrastructure doesn't matter. Anybody who has a phone will just have it connected right to the satellite and have internet immediately, super fast internet. Yeah. In 20 years, that would be my prediction. So even right now, there's lots of places in West Virginia where you can't even get a drop of cell phone service or internet. So they're like, well, no remote workers would obviously ever come there. But if you got a Starlink or something and you can connect right up and have super fast internet where you can watch Netflix.
I'd go anywhere.
Or YouTube. Watch us on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. And then you got towns like Fayetteville, it says, Lewisburg, Shepherdstown, attracting small businesses. So that's another thing. And we're going to get to that in a little bit. I don't want to jump ahead a little bit, but it's like, what can you do? Well, small businesses. We'll get there. We'll get there. And let's talk about tourism a little bit. I don't know about you, but I think our state is just amazing for tourism.
It is. There's tons to do.
We pretty much stayed here all year this year for our vacations, and we're hitting a state park this weekend. Yeah. And we're camping, and then we're going to see a couple other things in the area. Yeah. There's so much to do here. There's so much tourism that we didn't even know about. And then you got the Hatfield McCoy ATV trails that we did recently. You've got all these state parks. You've got just the nature. You got hiking, Seneca Rocks, Blackwater Falls, Cooper's Rock. You've got the beautiful New River Gorge, Blackwater Canyon. The canyon itself, I was looking at it today and I was like, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. Yeah. Sometimes I just look up like tourism pictures and just stare in amazement. Like, that's my state. I love it. So the tourism, I think, is top notch. And I think a state that did that pretty well, from what I've heard, is Colorado. That's the West Coast version. They took that tourism and really turned it into something. And from what I've heard, they've done really well with that. Yeah. Why can't West Virginia be the Colorado of the East as far as tourism goes? Be the premier destination for nature lovers. If you love beautiful, breathtaking scenery and just nature in general, being outside, riding the four-wheelers, rafting, you name it, hunting, fishing.
Mm-hmm.
This is the place to be, and we
Yeah.
can make it the place to be. We'll continue to push on that.
Yeah.
So there's lots of signs of hope. How about a new generation that's starting to care again? Do you feel like that maybe people just stopped caring for a while and that was part of the population decline and they just said, it is what it is? It is what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
But with the younger people, some of them are leaving. But the
Mhm.
ones that stay, do you think they'll just say it is what it is? Or do you think they'll say, no, I care what's
Yeah.
happening here.
We know a
And if I'm going to
handful.
stay, I'm going to help build. I'm
Mhm.
going to help change.
There's a handful of younger people that I've heard act like that.
Mhm.
But I feel like just like that generation is just kind of like, oh, whatever.
What generation?
What do you want to call it? The generation, right? I would say Sadie's generation, but she's technically, she
Gen
says
Z,
she's
clearly.
Gen Z. That generation is just like, I don't care. I'll just go somewhere else.
Well, I think you're stereotyping because this is supposed to be a sign of hope here. I'm seeing a lot of them will leave. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
sure, I'll give you that. That's what the statistics show. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking
Who you
about the
talking
ones that stay.
Oh, okay.
The ones that are staying and that
Mhm.
say I'm not leaving. I'm
Yeah.
gonna plant roots here
Mhm.
in this small town. And how many of them are there? We've seen examples of this already.
Yeah.
We've seen younger people in Bramwell. The mayor is young. He's not Gen Z, but he's young, and he was new blood that came in, and he said, "I'm going to help this town out." We've seen Annie Humes in Pendleton County.
Mhm.
She's younger.
Yeah.
Now, this isn't Gen Z. None of these people are Gen Z. But I'm saying,
Um,
I'm saying comparatively, we're talking 20 years from now. So
Yeah.
the people that are Gen Z now would be their age in 20 years, and they'll be doing that
So we
same
need to
thing.
find
That's what
a
I'm
Grant
saying.
and an Annie
That's what I'm saying. The Grant
and the
Annies are
Gen
out there. They're just Gen
Zers.
Zs right
Okay,
now. But in
okay.
20 years, they're going to be positioned to take those reins. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm saying if people in their 40s now can do it, in 20 years, the people in their 20s will be in their 40s and they can do it. So the people who stay will make a difference. That's what I'm saying. The people who stay
Yeah.
want to be here. They're the ones that have the grit that can stay. They're the ones that have that West Virginia resiliency.
Yeah.
That's something you get naturally when you stay here, or even if you're from out of state and you moved here, you start to get that resiliency, that West Virginia resiliency. It's a characteristic of a West Virginian.
Yeah.
You have that resiliency. Let's identify the big problem before we get to the fix. Okay, here's the big problem. A lot of it was apathy. That's what we've talked about. A lot of it was apathy. A lot of people saying it is what it is. Nothing's going to change. And I will take it a step further. There's some people who think that they're not being apathetic. They think that they're calling out the problems, but that's all they're doing.
Yeah.
They're going on Reddit and they're whining and they're complaining, but they're not doing anything about it.
Yeah. They want someone else to fix it.
They're the ones that are like
they're putting it all on one person.
I can't stay in this state. I want to move from this state. But is that doing any good?
Yeah.
Listen, I'm all for identifying problems. That's what we just did this whole podcast. We've identified problems.
Yeah.
But when your whole gimmick is I'm going to complain about everything and then that's the end of my speech and then I'm going to go back to the basement.
Yeah. I'm just like picturing
that doesn't do anything for me. It's a waste of
Yeah.
time.
I'm just picturing like a handful of like older people just like in a circle and just complaining, like, and just wondering if something's going to get done. And it just stays in that little circle of complaining. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, what can you do one thing outside of this tight
Right.
little circle to change something?
And we're still going to get to that. That's still our final thing is what we can do. But we want to address that problem right now.
Yeah.
The problem is apathy and the people that complain with no solutions, the non-doers. Also, waiting for politicians to fix it. That actually goes with that a little bit with the complainers. The complainers will say, if the right politician got in there, all these problems would be fixed.
Yeah.
No.
There's never going to be a right politician.
If you haven't been able to see that, especially in a state like West Virginia, the right politician, you're waiting for the right politician to come save you, you're going to be waiting for a while, buddy.
Yeah.
The politicians aren't going to save you. The federal government's not going to save you. Yeah. The federal government just pulled a funding for the West Virginia schools today before we did this podcast.
Right now.
Federal government's not coming to save you. State politicians probably aren't coming to save you. Let's be honest, people.
Yeah.
You got to be honest with yourself. It's not the way it is. People were saying it's always been this way. And then the younger people who don't believe there's anything here for them, which we've talked about at length already. And here's the part that hurts. The people who could change things, they're just waiting. They're waiting for someone else to do it.
Yeah.
It's really easy to just say, hey, that's someone else's problem. Someone else can fix it.
Yeah.
That's depressing enough. So here's the plan, okay? The master plan. And we're not trying to be a hero here. We're just using what we got. This is us in particular, but hopefully this can maybe give you some inspiration. Here's what we're going to do, me and you.
Okay.
This is what we're going to do. We are going to go out here and try to find the people that are actually building something here, and we're going to highlight them.
Okay.
Because this podcast is going to be more than just stories. We want real people.
Yeah.
And that's where I need you guys to help us. We need your help to find them. I know they're out there. We've met quite a few of them already, and we want them on the podcast. I want the doers. Yeah. I want the people who are going out here and changing their community, improving their community, whatever that is. Whether they're helping small businesses, they're bringing in tourism. You know, I think about in Petersburg, the Hermitage and how beautiful it is, and how they've, and the restaurant, the coffee shops that have popped up around it, and how beautiful they're making it.
Yeah, they're doing so good.
These are people that are doers. They're not sitting on the internet saying, man, my state's trash. I hate it. I'm going to move out. They're people that say, I'm going to take this opportunity and see what I can do here.
Yeah. And
it doesn't even have to be a big, huge thing. I mean, it can be little things. It can be, what can I do here in my little group here in my community? Like, you know, I lead a men's group breakfast every Wednesday morning. And try to help guys work through different issues. The thing is, it doesn't have to be a huge thing. You don't have to be the guy that everybody knows in the town or the girl that everybody knows.
It can just be like, what am I good at? What can I put to good use?
Yeah. Can I pick up some trash on the street to make my street look better?
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't have a lot of extra spending money to upgrade things.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always have to be financial, but sometimes you could take care of what you have a little bit, you know, if you have one of those nicer houses from like the 1800s or whatever. I know it takes a little bit of upkeep, but put a fresh coat of paint on there, you know, help make things beautiful, especially if you live in an area that's attracting tourism. You know, you want it to be a little bit presentable, and you want to be kind to people. You, in general, anyway, I think most people, you should be kind all the time. Yeah. But especially if you got tourists coming in, you want to be kind to them, and remote workers and things like that. They're trying to help fund your state, so be kind to them. And I think a lot of West Virginians are doing that already. Yeah. And that's what I love about them. I know you like the lighter stuff usually, the crazier and the fun stories. And this episode was a little bit serious, but I think you're proud of what we're trying to do here.
I am.
So we've got interviews lined up already with West Virginia builders. We've spotlighted towns already like Bramwell that's bridged the gap between modern and the tourism. Yeah. The ATV trails. Yeah. Versus remembering the heritage and using that as power, the heritage of the millionaire homes and the coal heritage. So we're spotlighting towns like that. Listener submitted stories. Listen to this. You know how we had an episode not too long ago, a couple episodes ago, 30 things we love about West Virginia. How many comments did we get where people told us things that they loved? Enough to do a whole other part two of 30 new things that we didn't even mention.
That one had a lot of engagement.
People love West Virginia. There's a lot of things out there. And so that's the stuff I want to highlight. That's the kind of stuff we want to spread. So here's the call to action. If you're still watching this episode by now, if you're still here, if you're still with us at this point, you love West Virginia, right? So don't just scroll past this and go about your day and forget about it. Send this episode to someone who needs to hear it. Maybe start a garden mentorship group. Anything. Do something real for this place.
Even if you think it's small, it matters. You can fix something. You can plant something. Help someone. That's how you change it.
That's right. Because here's the thing. 2045, it's coming either way. One way or another. That's the one thing that's certain. We can't stop time. You can never stop time. Time is coming. Yeah. So whether we sit here and do nothing or we try our best to help our state out, 2045 is coming. And it'll be here before we know it. Yeah. So we can either ignore it and we can let this state fade away. We can let the state that we love, our heritage, our culture, our identity, our children, we can let all that fade away, fade out to nothing. Or we can build something that's worth handing off to the next generation, something that our kids are proud to call home. And they say, I want to stay here because I love it here. And I'm proud to be from West Virginia. Yeah. I love what West Virginia has built over the last 20 years. And there's no place I'd rather be. And that's how I feel right now. I hope my kids feel like that. And I hope my grandkids feel like that. Forecasts are not fate. Right. ChatGPT tried to give us a forecast. Let's make sure this one never comes true. Okay. Let's make sure that our state stays great. All right, guys, a little bit darker, a little bit more serious. We'll watch the video back in 20 years and see if we were right or wrong. Not us, ChatGPT. And we know he's going to be wrong, and we're going to dog him. We're going to say, Chat, look at you, you're a moron. Just like John Henry. John Henry whenever they tried to bring automation to him
Yeah.
at Talcott, West Virginia, and he swung his hammers and he won. And he said, not so fast. That's how we'll be talking about
People
ChatGPT.
were dogging him,
Oh,
man.
people were
dogging
Henry.
him on YouTube comments. Like, they were like,
He won the first one,
basically
but let's try
loser.
again in 5 minutes. Yeah, not cool. Leave John Henry alone.
Got a lot of
We're
haters
proud
on
of
that
him.
one.
Yeah, so why don't you guys share your thoughts with us? What ideas can help keep the state thriving? If you've got those ideas, go ahead and drop them in the comments.
Mhm.
Send them to us. Submit stories of people doing good in West Virginia. That's what we want to hear. I want to hear your good stories. There's been a couple places we went, like when we went to Pendleton County, and we put it out there, like, hey, do you guys know any good people? We got like 50 results,
we
like 50
did.
different, like, here's 50 great people right here doing great things. That's what I love. So send us the stories of people doing good in West Virginia, and we want to share those stories. We want to tell them. We want to interview those people. If you could, leave us a 5-star review.
5-star only.
5-star only. On any podcasting platform. And if you happen to be watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button right here, right there. You like that? Last time it was up here, or I pointed up here, but it's right here. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll give you more West Virginia love. Thanks for watching.
Bye.